Right, hello. Hopefully the stream started alright. So I'll wait for some people to get on. But yeah, right, let's have a look. It says there was update details. I don't actually go to that if it's... Oh, probably not. The following 3 new cars have been added. 1932 Ford Roadster 63. Suzuki V6. Suzuki Vision Gran Turismo 2 tracks. Watkins Glen International Racetrack has been added. That's cool. So that sounds alright. So hopefully a notification will go out for this in a minute. While I'm waiting for people to come on, I'll just look about what's in the garage or whatever. That looks quite cool. See, the problem is this, I can't always remember unlocking all the cars, especially if it's one where it's like come third in a race, and it's one where I didn't do very well. You know, as in, came third or whatever, but that was about the best I could do with the current car I had. Is, I'll have a voucher which will always give me the worst possible gift, unless they've patched this in the patch. So let's find out. Receive the gift. Right, I reckon it's going to be the tiny pile of money. Unless something else is worth less than that. Oh look, I was correct. Right, say hello people if you're wrong, because it says there's people watching. 10,000 credits, yay. These are completely rigged, these vouchers in this. I'm getting a bit of interference on my Bluetooth headset as well, so hopefully that doesn't affect anybody listening to the stream, like the microphone or whatever. It's just like, you know, when you get a bit of like staticky sort of noise type stuff on it. So yeah, that is its performance points are good. Yeah, right, so let's upgrade this a bit then. And most of the things not applicable to this car, that's a bit annoying. Supercharger high-end torque, let's get that. That massively increases the horsepower. Yeah, it's a bit weird this one that you can't put many upgrades in it. I don't know if it's because it's meant to already be quite upgraded. Yeah, it might be that it's already meant to be like a top tier sort of thing. Yeah, if people are on, say that you're on in the chat, because at the moment it keeps popping up there are people watching, but nobody's left a comment. And as far as I'm aware, there shouldn't be any settings in the chat stopping people commenting, because it worked fine yesterday, so... Well, not yesterday, last time I streamed a game. Oh, I know a lot of people might be at work at this point in the day. Okay, so the Pan America one is a 5. So that's one I have to use a road car for. Yeah, so that's one I'll need to try and... Hello. Hello, Bungie Zombie. Yeehaw, he says, like as in Plants vs. Zombies. So yeah, that's annoying. The current car I've got can't be used in this one, but I wonder if I can use this in some of the other races that I, like, saw it said I could have a race car for, but... yeah, racing car 630 or less PP, right. Let's reduce this one's performance points a bit. What's its current performance point? 645, so I don't need to reduce it by much. Alright, Stoltersmus, if I'm saying your name right. Right, ballast, is that? Power restrictor. Can I actually put these in though? Because I want to, is that the one I want? Yeah. Right, what did it say the PP amount was I had to have it under? 630 or less, right? That's almost there. Yeah, I mean, it depends, Snoz, because at the moment, alright, yeah, I've got back from the Blue Cross, because we didn't have loads of animals in today, so I was up there this morning. And the problem is, obviously, with Fridays, because I work quite long hours at the weekends, I never like to, yeah, you have to change a car's pee-pee. But yeah, I think it's just performance points. But yeah, the problem is, like I said, with like the weekend job, is that because it can be quite long hours and that, often I go to bed quite early Friday. That's why I'm often not on mic streams on Fridays or Saturdays, unless I'm sort of got holiday booked or whatever. Right, let's try this car now, because it's usable tyres, racing. If I need to put the racing tyres on it. Racing soft would be better, but let's do racing hard. Oh, is it that put the PP up now? So do I now need to like lower the engine amount even more? Oh yeah, it's put the PP up massively, look, by doing that. Okay, alright, 6:29:35 is probably the best I'm going to get. Right, I don't expect I'll do well in this, because I haven't tried this race yet. But, let's have a go. I'm just going to actually move my PS5, because for some reason it's a bit further away than normal. I don't know if that's why the Bluetooth is having issues. Or if it's just been that there's been an update on this or something that's... Let's turn the volume down a bit. I like the car engine noises, but I don't want it to be so loud I talk, like, weirdly. Yeah, this car seems nice. The only thing is it's got an alright dash. Right. What's my favourite gas mask? Still the Avon CT12. I mean, there's a couple I'd really like to try that are like more modern. But you know, like some of them you never see on the surplus market, or they're just silly money. So like things like a Polish MP6 or like one of the MP6 variants, they look all cool. Right, Rajiv? I've only started the stream as of a few minutes ago because I got back from the Blue Cross a bit earlier. I filled my car up with petrol, and that wasn't relaxing, I'll tell you that. It cost me £89.75 for about 44 litres of petrol, I think it was. And I'm just using the PlayStation controller bought. I'll read the comments properly after this race if there's a lot of people saying hello all at once. But yeah, I like just doing afternoon streams because quite often I've got enough energy at this time of day that I want to be social and it puts me in a good mood. You know, assuming you don't get like really weird people come on. But I find it's quite easy to play as well because even if you don't like win a load of races, you still get a load of money for doing them. Therefore, you know, like you can still buy more cars with it. So this particular race is only one with actual race cars in, apparently, like, you know, not conventional road cars. But the annoying thing is, again, with the car I've got, is I've had to massively lower its performance to actually get it to be eligible for this race, which is annoying. So again, I ought to try this car if it will let me on another race at some point. Neither on keyboard nor steering wheel. I'm on a PS5 controller and this is on PS5. I mean, if Gran Turismo was on PC, I'd definitely get on PC, but I don't think it is. It's like a PlayStation exclusive, isn't it? If you're on about Ukraine, then yeah, it's a war of attrition now, because basically both sides can't push very effectively. Especially not the Russians now, because of all the casualties they've taken, all like the modern equipment they've lost. So again, I don't want this stream to talk too much about Ukraine, because you know, that's a bit more depressing than other stuff, but, you know, it's fine if we're talking just about that on the stream. But, yeah, it's basically, it's going to be a war of attrition type artillery war. Yeah, the thing is, Rajiv, I hope, well, again, like, because I've got a PS5, that makes me want to say, I hope lots of exclusives don't come out on PC, but I do hope they do, because I don't like exclusives. I like it when games are on all consoles and PC, so if you want to buy it, you know, you can get it as cheap as possible, basically. I mean, if the Demon Souls remake ends up coming out on PC, I'd probably get that on PC as well. Because there's a couple of games that I've had that, you know, were exclusive to consoles, you know, for the first year of their release, that are now on Steam, you know, and they're not full price, so I bought those as well. Just because there's a couple of games, like, I know my PC would play it better than the PS5 would, even though the PS5 is quite well optimised. I was really trying to slipstream past some of these, but again, this car's a bit, I don't know, doesn't seem to be as good for its performance points as some of those others. Yeah, like, so that's the thing, I just don't like the console fanboys. It's like, if buy whatever you want and hopefully you're happy playing it, you know. I don't get people that said, like, I would only ever buy this brand and not that brand or whatever. Like, with consoles anyway, like, the old Star Wars Rogue Squadron, like, the sort of flight space simulator-y one. It'd also be good if they did, like, the old TIE Fighter and, X-Wing. Those are, like, the really good old ones as well. Like, if those were updated with modern graphics and you could play them on a 360 controller or something, not a, you know, not a straight up. I have a joystick, but, you know, I don't always want to get the joystick out, dust it off, clear a bit of space on the desk to use that for just playing a flight sim. What I always find amazing, Rajib, is when you start working out how old some games are. So, like, obviously, Nintendo 64 games are even older. But, for example, Half-Life 2 is 18 years old now. In 2 years it will be 20 years old. Half-Life 1, which was 98, so that will now be, what, like 22 years old for... actually, no. Yeah, wait. 98. 24 years old? I'm not the best at maths, especially when it comes to adding up numbers, but, oh, look, I'm in last place now. Well, near the end, but oh well. So I'll try this car on a different track where I hopefully don't have to limit its power as much. But yeah, I don't know what I was going to say then. Yeah, some games are just, it's weird to think how old they were, because I was saying that with one of my mates when we were replaying, like, the Master Chief version of Halo 1. It's like, Halo 1 now, 2001, that was like an exclusive Xbox old game originally. And like 2001, so that makes it 21 years old. Yeah, the same with DOS games, there's ones from the 90s as well, obviously, like, yeah, 80s and 90s. I don't actually know when DOS first came out, but obviously, like, it was before 95, wasn't it? We've got 3.1 Windows somewhere in the house, probably in the attic doing nothing. But, you know, one that actually, you know, you run a command prompt on DOS to play games on your hard drive. So on there was, like, Prince of Persia 1, Prince of Persia 2 we had installed on the hard drive. What else was there? How much reward do I get for coming last in that race? I can't see the credits because your comment's in the way. Hang on, let me not press anything until that hopefully pops away. Oh, 11,000, okay. Yeah, so 40-year-old yeah, operating system. Right, I'm assuming with this one, yeah, you can't do that with a race car. Is there any other of these you can do with a race car? Because most of them are just road cars, aren't they? I haven't done this one before. Racing car category GR3, so I don't have any of those. Does it only just let you use any car, like not even a road car? Because that's what I'm interested in. Is there one where it will be like, you know, just use any car you want? Because like on these really easy ones, I've got really overpowered road cars. Yeah, most of them are road cars, aren't they? Not the actual, Oh, can I put a racing fin on the back of this car anyway? I don't know if that actually helps with your cars or not. Was that in the GT Auto thing, I think? Yeah, what, 3.5-inch floppy? I suppose it's kind of got, like, a bit on the back, hasn't it? But rear... Let's do Type A. I don't know if it even improves your car at all, but let's just do it. Wing. Custom wing set, why not? Do medium, because I don't know how they're going to affect the car at all. No idea how any of this will affect the car, but let's do that. Yeah, it's not very expensive, is it, for these bits, like some of the other bits? I wonder if there's any other updates I can do to this car. Oh yeah, the big box PC things are good, it's just they take up a lot of space. I've still got some old ones, but again, they were never sadly kept to like not get tatty, you know. But none of them like rare or anything, they were just ones, obviously when I was younger I had games in the big boxes. But some of them are cool because they came with like proper book-sized manuals, didn't they? Rather than it just being like the little booklets you get now, or like a PDF file. Oh, you can change your suits in this. Well, let's have the darker one. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's the thing that really annoys me now, that you don't get proper manuals of games, because it's like the original Fallout, like that entire manual was scanned in like PDF, and I was surprised when I was reading it how good the manual was for it, you know, like, because it was like the entire manual was meant to be like an in-game like in-world, you know, explanation of how a Pip-Boy works and all the stuff. So like that was what I thought was quite cool with that. I haven't played that one, Snoz. I've played some of the PS2 era Lord of the Rings games that like came out after the Peter Jackson stuff. Oh, let's do the weight reductions in this if I've not done them. Then we're going to have to grind for a load more money again in a minute. I have got most of the other upgrades for this. It's just I think at one point I went back to do the what was it? You know, like the thing where like get a new body for the car, which then means you have to get a load of the upgrades again. Right. Weirdly, I was talking about Quake 4 to one of my mates the other day, because we were talking about, like, Halo and Doom 3 and stuff like that, and I was saying I preferred Quake 4 to Doom 3. So the problem I had with Doom 3 is as much as I found the engine it ran on quite interesting, like id Tech 3 or whatever it's called, I can't remember now. The problem, like, with Doom 3 is that it kind of didn't know if it wanted to be a proper shooter or a horror game, where, like, with Quake 4 at least, they at least went more with a actual, you know, Okay, let's use this car then. Recommended 700 pp. I've got 745 pp. Oh, yeah, this is the one really long track, isn't it? Yeah, I don't play loads of racing games. I like Gran Turismo though, mostly because it's kind of got a bit of a grinding RPG aspect to it, where, you know, you can buy a car and then do it up. So you can, you know, use an overpowered, yeah, Unreal Tournament. I've got the original one on PC CD-ROM somewhere, because that's actually got like a single-player campaign, hasn't it, in the original Unreal Tournament. Whereas the later ones were much more, if they had a campaign, it was much more just like deathmatch kind of matches in a row, like on Unreal 3 and Unreal 2004. If I remember right, Unreal Tournament 1 actually had a proper campaign. Yeah, so saying this track's super easy if you've got a good car, because you know, you just literally hold down the accelerator. It doesn't really require any skill. look at my dashboard. Yeah, we'll do that. I keep forgetting how long it takes to get to the bit where you actually have to take a corner on this track. 9,000 meters is what I've done so far. Meters. Oh, Snoz, I can do the mode in this where you have to try and drive with the best fuel economy possible. Alright, see you, Bungee Zombie. But yeah, because like I was saying, I had to fill my car up on the way back today, and with about just over 10% of my fuel tank left, it cost essentially £90 to fill it up. So, you know, I could have got it to 100 quid if the price is, like, not that I want to, but, you know, then if the price was a bit worse at that station, it probably would have gone to 100. Or if I'd, you know, used it for another couple of days before filling it up. But, yeah, I thought because at least one of my jobs paid me today, where I was expecting it to be Monday. I thought, yeah, I'll just do it today. Yeah, that's the thing with me. Payday is normally for me on the 26th, but because today is, like the 26th, I think lands on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I think they normally pay us earlier then. But yeah, I was expecting to maybe have to wait till like Monday to fill up, so. But I'd only need to do a few miles in the car at the weekend anyway for work, so. So is this actually designed as a racetrack, this track, or is it like a big runway or something? Because I know it said something about space, but is this actually for like a space shuttle thing, or is this just like long road for the sake of it being a long road? Yeah, so the only thing of this track is it's very easy, but it is a bit boring, because there's just literally, you know, you're not doing much, are you? Well, there's all those space antenna things. Right, nearly at the finish now. Then we'll do the car fuel economy thing and see how little fuel I can waste driving a sports car. Right, so I guess the finish line is coming up somewhere up here in the tunnel. Oh, there's the man with the flag. Finish. Yeah, that was a long track, wasn't it? Yeah, 19.3 miles. Oh look, I've got another ticket that will give me the lowest reward possible, so let's go claim it. Yeah, the only good thing for me, Snoz, was that the petrol was slightly cheaper today in a couple of stations than it was, like, during the week. So, regular unleaded was a £1.89 a litre, rather than being, like, close to £1.99 that I'd seen it in some places. Obviously, it was still £2 and 4 pence, whatever, for the E5 I put in my car, but as said, there's no point me putting the other stuff in my car because it will just get bad economy anyway. Right, I was going to look at the reward I get, where I get the worst reward possible. Right, I reckon I'll get the tiny pile of money, if that's worth the least. Oh yeah, look, I was correct. You've got 5,000 credits, yay. Just like how every single one of those tickets I always get the worst reward. Now let's see what's in the second-hand car shop, just in case there's anything I actually want to buy today that I can then get some money towards and then buy. Like, annoyingly, again, there's no sorting mechanism on this. Because again, if the Mark 1 Golf turns back up in one of these places again, I will just try and grind the money for it. Because like I said, annoyingly, I didn't realise that these just rotate every day. Or like every few hours, whatever it is, so if you don't buy them at the right time, you don't get them. And that's got quite a, so that's a road car, which means I can use it on a load of races. It's 73 grand, but it starts off with 250 brake horsepower and quite a lot of performance points. That means that might actually be a fairly good one for using in some of the races. Right. Let's do that fuel economy challenge. I think it was on this one, but I can't remember. Eco challenge, here we go. So I have to try and do this without running out of fuel, but in the best time possible. I've only got a bronze so far. I didn't really try very hard. I think I did it once and then said that will do. Although I came closer to a silver than bronze. Just, yeah, run my fuel down even before it starts. Look, there we go. See, the more I hold down the accelerator, which is the trigger, the faster it will get the fuel down. But you also need to go fast to do the track at a decent speed. So you obviously don't really want to brake at all if you can help it. And obviously you just want to give it as much welly on the last bit as possible. Right, let's try and get a load of speed up here, and then rev on. Alright, let's hold the trigger down part way, but not all the way. Okay, going uphill, so I'm going to lose a bit more fuel even faster here. Right, I'm getting really low on fuel now, so I'm going to have to be careful. Oh, I might not even make it to the end this time. Maybe they've adjusted it for the current fuel prices. Right, so now I have to glide it in, do I? With no speed. Yeah, there's the finish, look. I'm definitely not going to get the gold, am I? Silver might be close. It depends how long it takes me to roll to that finish line. Come on, come on. Ooh, don't think I'm going to get the silver. Ah, look at that. New record, I didn't get the silver. Because I didn't run out of fuel last time. I guess I just didn't have the trigger down as much. But there you go, that's current racing simulator then, where you have to try and not run your fuel tank down. Can't be asked to keep doing that. Yeah, there's people, Gooser, that are paying for membership on my channel that don't even get told when I do a members stream, because, you know, why that happens I don't know, but it's an annoying thing of YouTube. Because I get recommended videos a lot from channels I'm not sub to and have no interest in. Then people I'm sub to, I don't even know they've released a new video. Oh, drag race. That should be easy in theory, shouldn't it? Don't I just hold down accelerate for a drag race? I mean, hopefully clicking the bow gets you some results, but like I said, the annoying thing is I don't think it actually does in terms of... Why does my car not go very fast then? Has this one not got automatic gear shift on it? Oh, that wasn't even close to bronze level time, was it? No. So why was that car so slow then? Because I definitely have transmission set to manual. Does this one only let you do it on manual? So how do I shift up? I don't even know because I've not had to shift up before on this. Oh, I'm not even going to bother because it hasn't told me what the controls are. Oh, I can use any of my cars in this one, apparently. But again, how do I shift gear? It's not told me. Never mind. I've tried that. That was for the camera, as far as I could tell. Yeah, like I said, it's... I'll look at that at some point when, like, you know, I can be bothered to do that challenge. Because, like I said, it's a thing where... I'm never going to normally play a game like this with manual gear shifting on, especially with a controller, where you're not even doing it, you know, like with a gear stick to go up and down. So, right, let's do an actual track again, shall we? So I can do the Pan American. Right, I might as well try entering it with this car, because this has got 3 races, and this one meets all the restrictions. Can I change the tyres on this one, though? Yeah, let me see if I can buy some new tyres for this car first, just to get much better tyres on it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, so he's actually using like for a video game kind of thing, like a real world, yeah, thing. Right. So I was gonna put better tyres on my car, wasn't I? Racing soft. I can't afford those. I can afford racing mediums. Let's just put racing mediums on. Because they'll still be way better than my current tyres in terms of like grip and everything. Right, so I was going to do the Pan American thing, wasn't I? So yeah, that's literally given me something like an extra 40 performance points just by putting better tyres on my car. So this is 6 laps, but this is a pretty simple track. Okay then. Oh, this car definitely performs more now. Oh, that's close. should at least be quite easy money doing this thing, even if I don't win the races. But if I'm 80 points ahead of their recommended performance point thing, I don't think it should be that hard. Especially on a track like this, where you get a load of laps. Because yeah, I've just got one car to overtake now, I've got like 4 laps to do it in, so... Have you seen, Rajiv, some of those people who've done like the crazy things where they've made their own flight simulators? As in, like, rather than having a VR headset, they've done the thing of like, they have a screen mounted like where an actual cockpit thing would be, and then they've got all the instruments like there. Or like, you know, it's hard to explain unless you've seen it, but you know, like they've actually built it so it's like in a little darkened, like cupboard type thing, but it makes, like, you know, so the closest thing I could compare it to is, you know, those like old arcade type machines where you'd actually climb into what would feel like the right sort of chair and everything, and then there's like a curtain to darken it. Because I saw some of those that look really cool where people built them in a man cave. Because I guess if you've done enough flight like sims or like racing games, that would actually be quite a cool way of having a chair set up for it. But so yeah, this does seem fairly easy, this one, doing it with, oh, that's the screen I normally have, isn't it, that one? No, I quite like both those, really. That one you get the little map ahead of you as well, which actually helps you. You can see there's a bend coming up without looking at the top right of the screen. I'm already 16 seconds now in front of the second car, so it looks like this series of races will be quite easy, assuming there's one, not any way you can fly off the track really easily, or I can screw it up by doing that. I'm going to lap some cars now, look. Right, so... is that the last lap coming up in a minute when I get through the thing here? Yeah, it's the final lap now. Crazy speeds. Oh, I'd hate to think how much fuel this would cost to do. There you go. So that's the first of these tracks done. So let's try and come first in all of them. If I get 35,000 per race and then a bonus for doing all of them, that's actually quite good. To next race. Alright, hi. Yeah, this was quite easy because again, this is one of those races where you can upgrade your car more than a like certain requirement. Because any of the ones where you have to get them to the actual like performance power or performance points of the other cars seem quite annoying. As in, it seems like some cars are just way better than others for doing those, unless everybody's forced to use the same car. But on ones like this, because it literally doesn't, again, stop you... Oh, this actually has more turns in it though. Because this one doesn't actually... you know, require you to have like a maximum power for your car. Seems quite easy on these. I just hope this isn't the one where you can go off the track really easy. So I can't remember if it's this one or a similar one, but there's one where there's a bit of the track that isn't the track, so it like resets you if you go off of it, but it looks like you're still on the track. I think it's meant to be like a pit lane or something, but it doesn't look different than the track, which is an annoying thing. It's not like a different colour, or if it is, it's very, very mildly different where my eyes don't notice it very much. So yeah, I filled up my car with petrol today. It was £89, like nearly £90 for my tank not even being fully empty. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, you can't go on that left bit there, look. Well, there's also the really cool thing with old F1 cars as well, when it used to be really dangerous. But I suppose that's why now they're also a lot more tightly controlled for, you know, not killing the people. So yeah, it was, I think, £2.04 per litre of petrol. But that was the good petrol, because if I put the shit petrol in, that would have been £1.81, I think, per litre. Or something similar, maybe 185, I can't remember, but like I said, it's not worth doing it, because for the price difference per litre, my fuel economy goes massively down, my acceleration goes down. So yeah, at least I won't have to fill up for another month, but I don't think the prices are going to have come down by a month's time. But I do need to have my tyres replaced at some point within the next month or two, and that will probably be between £400 and £600 for a new set of tyres. Just because my current ones are... annoyingly, it's not even the tread that's worn down, it's just that the tyres are, kind of, the rubber's just dying due to age, because they're meant to be eco tyres or some shit, so they just die. As in, I think they're designed so they erode better in landfills, you know. But it's annoying if they're on your car, because I haven't done enough miles for them to have, you know, really need replacing that soon. But, oh well. Driving's expensive. So it's 5 laps on this one. I'm in first again. So yeah, as long as I don't go on that darker bit of tarmac, I'm fine. That's the bit that resets you on this track. So I think that's meant to be like the pit lane or whatever, or safety car sort of lane or something. Yeah, it's about £100 typically here now. But yeah. So it's nowhere near as inflated as where it is here, but yeah, it's sort of crazy here, because it, I think they were saying that if you went back a year, like 2 years ago, I think it was £1, like 20 a litre or something. I mean, it would be better for the environment and all the people living around it if there weren't, you know, combustion engines instead of electric, but yeah. But again, the thing is here is a lot of the price on our fuel is tax, and this is why the government had 2 like really bad losses in by-elections last night. Is because they're not really doing enough when everybody is like, yeah, people are losing loads of money because the price of everything's inflating, and they're like, oh, you'll be fine. So yeah, that was an interesting thing, as much as we don't normally talk about politics in these streams. The Tories lost a seat they've had since the 1920s or something, with something like a 26,000 vote swing to the Lib Dems, because, you know, Boris being like Boris, not actually acknowledging that, you know, people are worried about their money, you know, or just lack of money, I guess would be the proper word for it. At least the people in that seat were sensible enough to tactical vote. As in, rather than like half those people voting for Labour and half of them voting for the Lib Dems, they all voted for one of the parties, not the other. Because yeah, in my In my area, you have to do tactical voting if you don't want the Tories to get in. Because there's no point in my seat voting for Labour, and there's some of the other nearby seats, there's no point in voting for Lib Dems, because one of the candidates has a slight majority, so you have to just vote for the one that you would rather get in, rather than the, Conservative one. Oh, and hopefully we'll get a chance to fly the drone soon. We didn't get a chance this week because it was so hot, but one of my friends is going to try with his Android as well, installing all the apps and that. I've got steering wheels and pedals somewhere for the original Xbox, or it might have been the 360, but I don't have any for like more modern systems. But I don't really play enough driving games that I'd want to use steering wheel and pedals, especially because they take up a load of room. That's the other issue. As I was saying about earlier to people, where I just like how many games now you can do on like a 360 or PS5 controller, just because they don't take up that much room. You can stick them in a drawer. Where it's the same thing on like joystick. I really like the joystick for flight games, but I have to clear a space on my desk every time I want to play it. And then that's, another problem of, Yeah, one of my friends that used to be really into driving games, had like a full steering wheel, pedal, clutch, set up for his PC and it. But that's because he, played loads and loads of rally games. I guess at that point you get a big advantage from doing it. Yeah, I think that's the issue of a lot of stuff. If there was a way that you could, fold everything down to barely take up space easily, it'd be a lot more appealing, but obviously so much of my space is taken up anyway by, surplus stuff anyway. That's the stuff I'd have to get rid of to clear more space for it. That's cool. Yeah, DCS looks good, it's one of those games I've never had the patience to sit down and learn, even though I'd like to at some point. Right, I assume they're cars I'm lapping now, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, the Harriers as well are actually saying that were recently added to Warno, so that's an RTS, but it's cool that they're in that as well. Because it should hopefully not be too long till a lot of the British stuff's added properly to that, because some of it's in the game like placeholders at this point, but there's not actually, British faction. There's only, 3 American decks and 2 West German decks, 3 Soviet decks and 2 East German decks at the moment. And it's just that in the one of the West German decks, you can for some reason get a load of the British stuff. But at the moment, it's part of a West German deck. But the idea, I guess, will be that once they add a load more British units in, you'll get a full 80s British armoured or whatever. Right, okay, so this is the last race of the thing, so unless I really mess this up, I get my trophy or whatever I get for winning all of these, plus a load more money. Yeah, I think that's probably the one, if I remember right, that's in Armour 2, and that was fairly good for just firing ATGMs at stuff. But yeah, so like I said, I'm not going to be streaming too much longer today. I'm not going to bed really early, but I'm not having a late night either, just because, like I was saying to people, that I'm at work tomorrow from 7:30 in the morning to probably about 6 PM. so that's going to be quite a long shift. I mean, I'm just hoping it's not going to be a busy day, because I don't want a day like that and then it to be really busy as well. I want it to be busy enough that the day goes fast, but not so busy that, you know, I'm completely knackered before doing the same thing again on Sunday. Oh, shit, I've massively broken that corner. It's got forward-looking infrared in the nose, it's useful for night flying straight from the gun weapons. Ah, cool. Yeah. That's the only problem with playing driving games and trying to read comments, is it's very easy to crash. Which again is the reason that it's illegal to use your phone while you're driving in most countries. So don't do it. You know, unless you're using it as a sat-nav or whatever, but then still. What I do with mine is I put on Do Not Disturb and I just put it in my pocket, so it's not going to do anything until I, you know, stop my car. And take Do Not Disturb off. That way if somebody texts me or rings me, I'll just ignore it, because I won't even know they've done it. Because I can set my, like, sat-nav display thing up in my car, so, you know, you can use it with Bluetooth and take calls on it. But again, I would find that a distraction, so I don't do it. And it's also one of those places I imagine will be quite a grey area at some point where they'll probably decide that's legal. When enough idiots do it and then hit people because they're not looking at where they're driving. But yeah, I suppose the good thing I can think about tomorrow is it's a long day, but with all the cost of living stuff, a long day being, you know, paid is good. Because, that at least means that, you know, it'll help cover, the cost of those bloody tyres I'll be having to get soon. And I'll have to have a look again, because it wasn't displayed as of Wednesday, but if that ROC post sold that was going on auction on Tuesday, I didn't see what price it went for as of Wednesday. Yeah, cheers. Tomorrow should be an alright day in terms of, like, people I'm working with and that. It's just, it'll be a long day if, you know, it's busy. At least we're getting a few sort of cooler days again, because some of the days at the moment have been really horrible for, like, you know, heat stroke risk and things like that. But at least the next few days are meant to be, like, dull, rainy, sort of a bit windy, so it means that for those days working in the conditions shouldn't be too bad. No, at the moment, not very much, just because of the fact that how expensive everything's getting. Again, there's a video people suggested on yesterday's members stream I'll be doing soon, which will be having a look at stuff on, like, the UK surplus market that's still a reasonable price. You know, like, seeing, like, are there any gas masks that are still, like, under £100, like, you know, very good condition second hand, and recommending those, which I think Snoz recommended to me yesterday to do a video on. But, yeah, for a lot of the thing, no, just mostly because I've also been trying to sell off a couple of helmets recently to clear up some space. And they're ones that a while ago you could have sold fine, but now people can't even seem to a lot of people can't even seem to afford like £20 to £30 for an old steel pot. In the sense that, you know, they just don't seem to shift unless you move them really cheaply, so. At the moment, it's more than I think just going to be being very careful with what I buy. But what should at least be good is once I've had all those tyres done on my car, there won't be any big expensive payments coming up for a while. So after that, it means I'll at least get a bit more saving money again, you know, or everything. Where at the moment, like I said, the problem is the cost of everything. Is just how much everything's gone up. Alright, cheers, yeah. Or if, yeah, you can just find stuff that's reasonably priced if it's, yeah, like, good for the money. Because I don't mind that. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, like I was saying, the problem is on the UK surplus market and, like, some of the rest of Europe, it's either the issue of, like, the RRPs for things have gone silly, or it's the case of, you know, like, once you pay tax and, like, shipping on it, it's then silly money anyway. And again, it's like, some of the cool, like, Russian surplus, all the stuff you'd see coming out of Russia or Ukraine is not coming out for obvious reasons. Because there was a cool Soviet decimeter I saw that wasn't silly money, but because the only sellers were ones in Russia that had them, or Ukraine, I thought, yeah, the chances of me actually getting that if I ordered it aren't very good at the moment. It was like kind of a digital version of the DP3, like the vehicle decimeter. So it has like the big ionization chamber kind of mount on it, and then it was like a red digital display, a bit like that PLA Geiger counter. So yeah, what I'm going to be mostly doing at the moment is just doing some more videos on stuff I've probably got and not done many videos on. Because again, like I said, some of the night vision stuff I want to do more videos on, but with it being summer, that's quite difficult just because of how late into the evening it stays bright at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can do videos on. It's just a combination of finding the time and when it's appropriate to do videos on them. But, because when we were looking through my analytics on the members stream yesterday, and I was surprised at how many of my top 10 videos are just ones to do with lighters, but then how on some of the things I'd have thought to do with lighters that would have got me more views, they don't. So, for example, one I did on the official Zippo, like butane jet insert for Zippos, you know, like not a third-party one, but the official Zippo one you can buy. That has barely gotten any views in like the year or 2 years it's been up. Whereas, you know, some really cheap throwaway lighters I've done videos on have got way more views, which is just weird to me. Because, you know, like how famous Zippos are in comparison. But I won't pretend to understand how YouTube systems work. Right, there we go, finish. Yeah, but the old radiometers are the ones, like I said, I wouldn't mind buying those through you, as long as they're, you know, like sensible RRPs and sensible shipping. Because those I actually find interesting, and you can generally do multiple videos on those sort of things, use them for testing or whatever else, you know. Alright, I bet I'll get the worst possible car out of the free gift cars when I pick a random card, but I don't know which one's the worst one anyway, so let's pick that one. 09, well technically, oh, that's actually the best one, okay. Maybe the cards aren't rigged, unlike the other thing. So I've got a 911, which apparently isn't anything to do with the incident involving planes. It's just I wouldn't have called the car that if, you know, I was Porsche, but still. Right, let's try out my new Porsche, shall we? Ferdinand Porsche. Oh, can we go to the cafe and see the weird bloke there again? Right, let me get the Porsche and then see if this bloke is going to be wanting to do something to my car. Right, car collection. Change car. So, yeah, it starts off with 582.09 performance points before you can do anything with it. Right, let's see if the dodgy bloke's at the cafe. Come on, Chris, are you there to give me your, Oh, it's Luke at the moment. Excellent work, you won the Pan American Championship. Oh, he's given me a ticket, which always have the worst reward. Thank you, roulette. It's not even roulette. Oh, look, there's the weirdo. Right. What do you reckon to my Porsche, mate? I've heard about your performance, you know. Congratulations on a fantastic victory. Oh, and by the way, this really gets my blood pumping. Yeah, you dirty bastard. I better get something else for Robin as well. This is a definitive Porsche, a sports car that makes absolutely no compromises. Yeah, I'm not interested in what else you say, but yeah, like, what a surprise that it gets your cock hard thinking about this car. Like every fucking car I bring in. So yeah, I need to get my car to 649 pp, but I'll just try it on something else first. I just want to see how it does stock before I do any upgrades to it. Right, let's take this on to the first like type of race that you could do it on, just because I want to see how it does against like regular hatchbacks with like not even upgraded engines. Is that Northern Isle Speedway? Yes, and they kept good, and the Porsche counts as a road car, so I can enter it. But yeah, it was like Mike was saying as well. Yeah, it's like some weird Japanese dating sim, isn't it? But with weird men in a cafe. Yeah, that's why I said that's why I find it weird in this one, because in the others they didn't put anything in there to pretend this element was there. It was just literally, you know, in the other Gran Turismos, it's just literally like you have a career screen that unlocks more races when you win races. Like, I'm fine with that. But this one does make me laugh, just because it always sounds like this bloke wants to fuck the car. But yeah, Mike was saying the other day, I haven't seen this video because it didn't get shared to me or like anybody else, but he did a video that he spent ages on that he wanted people to see for his like new shooting competition type thing, and of course YouTube didn't share it. So even though I'm subscribed to him, you know, bell ticked, I try and watch every one of his videos. No, YouTube didn't notify me he'd made a video. And again, it's like that with the members streams, or again, it's annoying that, especially with the members stuff, because of the fact that if somebody is paying membership, it is really, I think, kind of bad that they won't get notified if you've uploaded a video, especially if it's a members-only video. But again, I don't understand YouTube's logic with a lot of stuff like that. Because as I said, the amount of videos that they keep trying to shove down my like recommended page from channels I'm not subscribed to, have never watched videos of like, you know, man reacts to something like this. You know, it's like these sort of videos. And it's like, and you know, other stuff that is like not of interest to me at all. And it's like, if this is meant to be a good algorithm that's good at spying at you, on you, it's doing a really bad job. Yeah, it seems fairly good, that Porsche stock, and then we need to upgrade it. Right, let's upgrade this car then. Oh, that sounds really interesting, yeah. That sounds good. I have seen some videos before that's really interesting, where people have, like, some sort of thing on the back of arrows, so you can see them through, like, nods and other things. So, you know, you can actually find them easier in the dark. Or, like, do night shooting stuff with them and see the trail on the camera. So I imagine you could, in theory, even have like a tritium bead on the back of an arrow. But like any glow-in-the-dark fossil would work. Right, let's do all the weight reductions to the car first. And then we'll choose some, Ah, that sounds interesting, yeah. I need to do weight reduction 3 first, don't I? Right. Okay, so... Did he say I had to keep it under 650 pp, or was it even less than that? Is it 550 pp? I don't know. Let's just put loads of upgrades on it. Power restrictor... Stuck all my money gone again from doing those other races. Oh, I haven't actually tried it. Like, the best person to ask if he's on about stuff like that would be Rich, because he does a lot of bow shooting of different weight bows. But I've mostly just done the free sort of finger European style thing. sometimes I think that would also depend how the arrow knocks on your bow, wouldn't it? Because I found with certain bows, shooting it in certain ways feels easier or harder depending on like how the arrows knocked. You'll sit on the shelf as well. Because it's like if you're shooting a bow without a like arrow shelf on it, you always want like a bracer type thing on your arm so it doesn't cut your arm when the arrow loses or loses. I don't know what the term is. But yeah, I'd actually have to look into that. It sounds interesting. But yeah, I'd have to start off with a low draw weight testing something like that and then move up so I don't fuck up my arm. Right, I won't stay on too much longer. I just want to see what this car's like now I've upgraded it. Yeah, it is over. I know, but I can just... Yeah, I know I can put a power restrict on it, Luca. I've done all this stuff before. But yeah, let's just try it on the track I just did again. Just now it's fully upgraded. Well, like, not fully upgraded, but heavily upgraded. What's that one? I assume it means it's a lot faster to shoot, doesn't it? And sort of some other things like that. Right, let's try this again now this car's upgraded. That's good. Good thing I've not got the damage on, so I don't have to repair my cars in this if I crash them. That actually does sound good, yeah, so it's just lets you move around a lot easier with the bow. Yeah, right, what I'll do just before I go off the stream, I'll lower the performance points to this car and see how it works in one of those races that guy asked me to do. So what do I want to go on to do his races? It's not any of those, is it? Because I've already done those. Because normally I thought there's a little symbol you see next to one you need to do. Unless I have to go and do something else next. Because I know it's like says, oh, you have to reduce it to 650 or whatever, but normally you can still get the race info screen up. Alright, let's claim this 4-star ticket where I'll get the worst possible prize. Alright, I'm going to get the smallest pile of money if that's worth the least out of those. Oh, it's a car worth the least. That's cool. I mean, I'd rather have a car than some money in this. Gift card, Mazda. Oh, that's not actually bad, but I'm assuming that was the worst prize out of a lot of them, if it was like the money was like a 50 grand amount or whatever. Yeah, so far this is the only loot box where I've not obviously had the worst prize in it. You know, like where if you have obviously high, you know, expense rewards and then one that's like, oh, the same amount of money for completing like the easiest race in the game, I always get the lowest amount of money. And I see people have been review bombing this game for loot boxes and this doing that. So I'm assuming that because every other one's done that, maybe the car was the least valuable one, but I don't know. Anyway, why is there a speech bubble coming out of there? I don't want to try my hand at some missions in here, but why is it telling me? Is it just because it's unlocked some? Yeah. Right. This to. Yeah, especially if it's a kid doing it with their parents' credit card. That's where loot boxes really come in handy if you're a developer. The EU is actually making loot boxes illegal, interestingly, because it is like literally pushing gambling, especially if it's like, you know, a game for under 18s, because it is literally just gambling, you know, which is 18 only, you know, above, because it's, you know, money. You're spending money to get a reward, you know, normally a lower percentage of doing it because the house always wins. So yeah, the EU are actually on about completely banning it from like under 18 sort of games, you know. But I don't know if that actually went anywhere or not. It is the garage I want, isn't it, to do the thing. Car settings. So I still don't know what race I'm meant to be entering it in. Right, power restrictor. What do I have to put this on to get to 950? There we go. Right. Right, I've got my Porsche to apparently the power limit, so is the race going to show up that I need to take part in or not? Ah, here we go, menu book. Start. Yeah, so why they have the pachinko machines, or whatever they're called. Again, that's something that's really annoyed me. Like, you know, let's kill Metal Gear and Silent Hill because some old businessmen want more pachinko machines. Yeah, I don't know if you can buy them in this game, though. Like, you get them as a reward randomly, but I don't know you can buy them. You can buy in-game money, so I can, look, top up on PlayStation Store, which I'm not going to do. But I can spend real-world money if I wanted to for in-game money, but I don't think you can buy loot boxes with those, so they've probably got around it that way. So the loot box can give you in-game rewards, but you can't get the loot boxes of real-life money. But you can get in-game currency of real-life money, but that's always a set amount. Alright, let's try one of these tracks anyway with my thing and see how good or bad it is before I go off. There we go, Europe. Oh, update? Is this a new track in the game? Ah, so these are the... This one is actually the ones they added today in a patch, or like this last couple of days. Right, I'm just going to try this race quickly, actually, because this is a track they added into the game like a day or two ago. Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, it's not in this, like, yeah. I don't think you can buy your loot boxes in this, it's just you randomly get them as rewards, and then they're worthless. But yeah, lots of other games do have the issue with loot boxes, where, yeah, it's like, you know, you're essentially just gambling on how valuable a skin is, or whatever. I always also find it funny when some games actually ended up putting loot boxes in, always like a minimum guaranteed prize, that originally, like, the dev said, oh, there will never be a pay-to-win aspect in our game, and then loot boxes somehow came into them. So it's like, if I just buy loot boxes then, I am paying to win, because I'm going to get, like, in-game XP, you know, like, money out of it, whatever. So that's another thing that I've noticed has happened with a lot of developers. They're like, oh yeah, you can't technically, you know, like, buy, progress in the game using like a credit card. You can buy loot boxes, and those loot boxes happen to have like leveling up items in them or whatever. A lot of RPGs do that, or like MMOs. And again, I get it's because they get a lot of money out of them. It's just still I find it funny that, you know, that's the thing. Yeah, this car's a bit overpowered at this rate, because you can do this one. But yeah, it means it's easy money. Right, what I'll do is, after this race, I'll do one more race where I do that one that was recommended for me to do in the Porsche, just to see how it performs at like 649 pp out of whatever. Where's the finish line? Is that, oh yeah, coming up after the next bend. So yeah, straight and then the finish. But yeah, there is a lot of weird things, the loot boxes in things, you know, like where they're used to get past certain things. But yeah, I personally do think they're gambling if you spend real world money on them, because you've not, what have you. So it's exactly the same as me saying I'm going to play 10 pence per spin on the slot machine, you know, and then you know, but I pretend it's for children, not actually for adults. You should know better. Right. Should we do Nurburgring or whatever it's called? Let's do one lap of Nurburgring with the Porsche. So there we go. That meets the requirements. It has to be 650 or less. Mine's 649. So I might do badly in this. I don't know. It depends how they've got the other cars balanced. Because I kind of wonder in some of these, actually, if the other cars have slightly more performance points than your limit to offset them, you know, essentially just going around the track in like a straight line, if that makes sense. Like I said, I also know with some of them it's because you're allowed to enter a load of particular cars, and there'll be one car that is literally better than all the others for doing that particular track. Yeah, I mean, because I've got the assisted braking on, not on full, but on like the slightly assisted mode, so I can, at least while I'm streaming, so I can chat with people easier. That's not too bad actually. But yeah, some of the tracks on this, if you're playing like, you know, on fully simulated mode, especially on like rainy conditions, like yeah, imagine this track playing in full simulator mode with rainy conditions on, would be really easy to spin and crash a car on. See, like there I'm spinning out even with the assisted braking on the me, like trying to slow down in time. But yeah, on some of these tracks, that's where you can actually overtake very easily, because the AI sometimes slows down too much for some of the things. Again, it's a bit weird, because it seems like the AI isn't consistent across tracks. Like, on some of them, it's like, they'll take corners really slowly, but then they seem to have really good flat-out acceleration. And then, you know, other tracks in this game seem to have the opposite thing, where the AI is really good at going around corners, but then seem to be really sluggish at accelerating. And it's not necessarily like should be in line with the model of car they're using. It just seems sometimes they've balanced certain, you know, like AI cars for certain tracks differently. Probably. I mean, I don't know all the like the F1 deaths or like which tracks they are on and whatever. But I know like the 70s or like the 80s, whenever it was when like F1 was really dangerous. Because that was when there were a lot less regulations, because it was more like every body was going to see how fast they could make the cars. So it meant generally if you crashed, you were in a much more bad situation. They exploded really well as well when they crashed back then. And that's also when you would also sometimes see them, you know, career into the crowds and just mangle people. I did get into a weird obsession of them phase. I don't mean like creepy obsession, I just mean it was like morbidly fascinating looking at car crashes is. Like a massive like video compilation of like every fatal F1 crash that was just like put into one video. And it might have had other like styles of racing that I can't remember now. But, you know, just cars spinning out and flying into tiny pieces and fireballs and, you know, you see a crowd of people behind a crash barrier, then you suddenly see a car go through the crash barrier and there's no people anymore. A bit like an air show crash. Yeah, I can see why the cars have been made to be safer now. It's less interesting to watch. Oh shit, I was looking at my map, not actually looking at where I was going. Right, I've still got about half the track to try and get into first. But yeah, this one seems a lot better balanced, where it says, you know, like, please do it as 650 performance points or whatever, compared to some of the tracks where it's like, oh, even when you're like, you know, at the performance point thing to like a decimal place, the other cars sometimes seem to still be way higher performance than you, in terms of like either grip or acceleration or whatever. Let me pause to read that comment. So yeah, F1 speeds have waned since early 2010s. The cornering speeds are still about the same or higher. The death rate has also plummeted. High-speed cornerings are the majority of fatalities happen in motorsports too. Yeah, I know rallying's really bad for deaths when like people just spin out on a corner, because that's when you're more likely to roll the car as well and just go off an embankment. Because again, it's a bit like with air shows where they put more regulations in, so you can't do like, you know, a high-risk manoeuvre above the crowd, which makes sense for like, you know, reducing deaths. Because we had that one in the UK a while ago where they had to revise all the rules because the guy crashed his, was it a Hawker Hunter, I think, into the actual like road and like killed loads of motorists on the road. Like he ejected, but the plane hit, you know, explosively plummeted into the dual carriageway or the motorway, whatever it was. So I think now you're not allowed to fly these sort of planes or do manoeuvres anywhere close to a road. It's like some of the air shows are done over the sea actually, just because it means if they crash the plane, it's not really going to blow up and kill any, you know, bystanders. But yeah, if you look at some of the really bad air show crashes, they were normally like people trying to do really dodgy manoeuvres at low altitude above a crowd, so the crowd could see it as close as possible. Is the worst air show crash still that Ukrainian one? I can't remember where, like the MiG or the Sukhoi, whatever it was, just plows into the crowd and mulches it. I remember there was a really bad one like that. And there's also been a few with like multiple plane crashes. I think that was Ramstein, wasn't it, where they had a couple of planes colliding with there. Then there's one, I don't know if it was an air show, where the guy tried to roll a B-52 and blew it up because they hadn't taken it out, you know, of they hadn't kicked him off of flying, even though he'd had loads of close encounters of, you know, like nearly crashing the plane before. And they were still like, oh no, we'll let you fly dangerous manoeuvres in your plane. And the guy, yeah, then killed everybody on board. Right, I'm just going to concentrate for the last bit. Well, it's mostly a straight now. Yeah, Sukhoi 27 belongs to Crowdman, yeah. I remembered it was one of those two. But yeah, there is, like, good regulations like that, because you really don't want lots of people to get killed and then, like, certain sports to be, like, banned or massively restricted because there's way too lax safety regulations. It makes sense to just have sensible safety regulations to avoid really bad, you know, incidents in the first place. Yeah, I'm slipping around a bit now on the wet road. So yeah, Nurburgring while it's raining is very slippery. Come on, I want to finish before that guy comes around the bend. Yay, there we go. Yeah, that makes sense though, doesn't it? Because I guess that's where, you know, that's where I can certainly imagine, like you're saying, if it's low altitude stuff where mistakes are made because people don't realise how low they are. Depends how fast you're going. I imagine that would be quite fun in, like, rally type cars. But I wouldn't want to do it in an F1 car. But anyway, I'll be off now. Thanks for coming on, everybody. Although I think it was a bit late sending notifications out to people when I started this one. But it's not so bad when it's in a game compared to a members stream, because you can play the game while you're waiting for people to come on. But yeah, I doubt very much I'll be streaming either Saturday or Sunday, just because I've got really long shifts at work. So I imagine I'll come home, want some food, and then want to go to bed. Right, have a good day, everybody. See you all probably Monday or whatever for more videos and streams, because I don't think I'm going to get much done over the weekend. Right, see you all, everybody. Have a good day.